Thanks to the support as a channel member, Mumongu Gaming. You didn't think we'd forgotten to look for a house yesterday, did you? Do you not remember? I was appointed as manager 9:30 in the morning and had a match that evening and then a transfer window to finish. The transfer window is now done, so I'll show you the transfers we've done in a moment as well. But first, we probably need to work out where we're going to be living over in Peterborough. And of course, the first thing we always have to do is double check that we actually need to move house. And the honest answer is we probably don't. Kettering, where we're living at the moment, back to Peterborough, where I used to live in real life, is only 32 miles. It's a 43-minute drive, and it's a relatively simple drive as well. You just come down onto the A14, stay on the A14 until Thrapston. I think it's Thrapston. I know there's a Burger King and a Greggs there. Soon to be a Subway as well, I noticed. When I was there relatively recently, and you then you just come up these back roads, the A605, you're into Peterborough. Bob's your uncle. But of course, we've never been about that commuting life here on this channel, so we need somewhere to live. Which, of course, as you know, means heading to the Halifax mortgage calculator. And with our new £2,100 per week salary, we can actually borrow up to £546,000, which is a big increase on what we were able to get when we moved house in this summer just gone. We've only been in our new Kettering house 6 months, but we're gonna buy somewhere new. We're selling that one. We're moving on. And if we're looking in the £550,000 price range in Peterborough, there are lots and lots of choices available. We can go for something a little bit older, something with some water, something with lots of driveway. But obviously what we're really looking for, terrible stairs. We could get terrible stairs. What we're really looking for is all the chairs, because as we know, chairs indicate wealth. So I'm thinking this looks like it's got quite a healthy chair situation. It's actually a little bit under budget. It's out in Hampton Vale, which is actually, if we go back to our map, Hampton Vale is around here somewhere, so it's kind of on the way in. We'll drive past it on the way into Peterborough and then probably have a 10-15 minute commute at rush hour to get into the ground. But if we have a look through these pictures, it's a brand new house. As you can see, they're really emphasising the chairs in these pictures. It looks very show homey, but we've got chairs in every room. I love a kitchen that has integrated chairs. That's a real sign of fanciness. We've got more chairs in the background there. It just looks like a very pleasant house. It's even got a laundry room that's correctly labelled, which I've never seen that in a house before. A toilet that doesn't seem to have a tank on it, which is very fancy. Somewhere I can record my YouTube videos. If the whole football management thing falls through, I can go back to making YouTube videos. A wardrobe that you can actually stand in, and I can store my bags. And you can store your shopping bags in your wardrobe. A pair of shoes per shelf. That's luxury. At the moment, all our shoes are just in a big pile near our front door. That's why I always have to have the door behind me closed. This lot, we just got a shelf for every pair of shoes. Surprised they've not got a shelf per shoe. Maps on the walls, so we don't need Google Maps anymore. So I'm going to put all my medals and my unicorn heads. This is definitely the house for me. Look, it's even got chairs in the garden. Who puts... I mean, this is Britain. Who puts cushions in their garden? You got to keep them in the house somewhere, surely, and just bring them out on a nice day, unless they're magically waterproof. But that's our new house. Now we probably need to run the new intro and show you the new players. It's all new today. Hello and welcome to Club 2 Part 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games for you in the league. We're at home against Forest Green, away against Cambridge. But since you were last with me, we need to show you what we've been getting up to. We had the... what did we do? In the last episode, we had the 2 defeats, didn't we? We went straight into... Was that in the video, the game over Hull? Actually, I think you saw that. I feel like you saw that. Did you see the game against Hull? You might have done. Either way, we got knocked out of the Papa John's nonsense against Manchester United under-23s and then ground out a victory against Plymouth in League One with a heavily rotated side because we had to send our core of our players on holiday. Our best defender, best midfielder, best striker were all shattered, so they went away on holiday. They're now back, but it means the league table looks like this. So we're in 7th place, at 1 point behind Hull, but everyone above us does have a game in hand. But we're actually only 5 points behind Bristol Rovers. Would you believe it's Bristol Rovers? Only 5 points behind Bristol Rovers in an automatic promotion spot. So all flavours of promotion still available to us. Shrewsbury aren't getting caught, but we don't need to worry about catching Shrewsbury. We need to worry about getting into this promotion mix one way or another. Although remember, the board are only looking for mid-table. So I think I can definitely deliver that. But of course, we want more. We want to get promoted. And we did do some transfers. We didn't actually spend any money on transfers in the end because of this situation that he highlighted in the last video. There was just no way to adjust this budget. So although we could have found someone for £5 million and bought them, we wouldn't have been able to give them any money. So I had to sneak through free transfers on very little in the way of wages and use my many years of Football Manager experience to cheese through a goalkeeper. So I think I'd already shown you that we brought in Luke McCormick and Deshaun Bernard. They both came in on free transfers. The only other player we were able to bring through was Ben Amos, who we've got him on loan until the end of the season. They wanted his full £6,000 a week salary, which obviously we couldn't do. The most salary, the most loan contribution my board would let me do, because we're over our wage budget, is £600 a week. So we got the calculator out. We worked out what the difference as a monthly loan fee was between what they wanted as his salary. So they wanted £6,000 a week for salary. We gave them 600, and the other 5,400. We just worked out what it would need to be as a loan fee to cover that. So we used some of our transfer budget to basically pay Ben Amos's wages. And bottom line, he's in until the end of the season. We have a goalkeeper who's played for us before as well. Way back when, in the 2009-2010 season, made his professional debut for Peterborough United. And now he's back to re-debut, aged 32. So at least we have a goalkeeper that I would recognise as a goalkeeper now. The only other player who left was Jack Blake. He's moved on. So nothing in the way of transfers really, but it does mean that between now and the end of the season, I'm going to work out how to sort this out. This needs sorting out. I can't spend any of this until we've sorted that, but we'll try and get some transfers set up ready for next season over the course of the next few episodes. But for now, it's just about going with what we've got and trying to do as well as we can in those circumstances. So we've got the players who retired back today. So the only one we don't have is Jack Taylor, who's injured. So he's had his holiday and now come back and got a cold. So he's going to be unavailable for the first game, but should be back for the second one. But this is effectively, I mean, you'd bring Taylor in for McCormick, but this is effectively our strongest team for the rest of the season now. You'd maybe play the youngster Gaz Key ahead of Blake Tracy at left back, although to be fair, looking at the star ratings, they're two of our best 5 players. So yes, Gaz Key's brilliant and has got loads of potential, and he'll be our next big money player sale. But Blake Tracy's not rubbish either, so we do need to kind of rotate the two of them and play them both. But this is the system we're going to be using. We're going with Ben Amos in goal, a back four of Blake Tracy, Anderson back from his holiday, Sykes fresh off of scoring the winner in the last game, and Turton at right back, McCormick and Reed in midfield, Solomon, Otterbor, Schmodix and Ward supporting Johnson Clark-Harris up front, who is back from his little holiday. Hector Ingram drops back down to the bench despite his hat-trick heroics yesterday. Let's see how good Clark-Harris is going to play in this system then. I mean, I know Johnson Clark-Harris, but I don't know him. I've seen him in real life, and I know he's a great striker for us in real life. He was the Ivan Toney replacement in the summer in real life, and he's just really good. And he was also really good in my Twitch save with Posh. Looking at how his life in this save has gone over the last couple of seasons, it's not been quite the same. So we're going to give him an opportunity to prove himself, but I'm not going to push it too hard. If he doesn't perform today, expect to see Hector Ingram back in, who we have seen score goals in this save so far. Right, Reed with the cross finds Solomon. It's knocked down to Ward, but he can't divert it goalwards, and it's back with Sykes. I do like the fact that although Tim Flowers, the previous manager, apparently didn't understand that football teams usually have goalkeepers, despite being one himself, he did arrange some decent defenders for me. Anderson and Sykes coming back in as centre-backs is some real strength to build on, and with Jack Taylor still there in midfield, Louis Reed alongside him as well, Schmodix, and we've got a real good core of the team. I think what we need to be focusing on is the attack, because I think the attack doesn't look like an attack that's likely to push on to the Championship. So that's what we need to be working on. Reed with the corner looking for Anderson but doesn't find him. As it stands right now, we are moving up into the playoff spots, even with a draw. Hull, I guess, either not playing or bottling their game. I mean, it looks like it is option A. Hull don't seem to be playing right now. So we have played more games than everyone around us, but we want to score and go ahead. And I thought we had, but that's been given offside. And I'm not entirely sure how that's been given offside. Blake Tracy with the throw. Schmodix nods it down to McCormick. And who's that? So, it is Joe Ward. He came from a very offside position to end up not offside at all. But obviously, that's still offside. So the goal is disallowed. Blake Tracy then on the left-hand side seems to have come very narrow. We'll monitor that. We might have to make a little bit of a tweak. That's what I want him to be doing, pushing wide and overlapping, which he has done now. He can play centre-back as well, so maybe his natural instinct is to drift infield a little bit, which we might need to keep an eye on. But in the meantime, Viv Solomon Otterbor is just proving to be the hero of my Peterborough side. He has been the best player in every match we've played so far. He's in the goals. I've given this boy a new lease of life. It's Joe Ward with the cross. Solomon is in, cutting in off that left-hand side again with the header to put us 1-0 up and really start to insert us back into this playoff mix, which we were in when I was first interviewed. The poor form that we went into after Tim Flowers left is what led us down outside of the playoffs. But Posh have been around this kind of point of the League One table for most of this season. So it's good to see us getting ourselves back up where we should be. Anderson probably needs to do a little bit better there. It's a decent free kick delivery from Joe Ward, and Anderson with the header that if he just keeps it down, it's really testing the goalkeeper, but it does end up going over. 1-0 at half-time. We will definitely take that. Things are going well. You're capable of even better. I like it. Let's do that. Can we pump fists and do that? Of course we can. Of course we can pump our fists. And come on, let's pump them together. I'm so excited to be at Peterborough. This is 5 years of doing YouTube and not being able to manage my own club because of my own poxy save rules. And finally, we're getting a go. And it's actually going all right at the moment. I know it's only episode 2, but I'm not bottling it at the moment. And I'm loving that. Solomon on the left-hand side does well to get past his player, plays it back to McCormick, who's just slotted into this side as if he's always been here. And he looks like a very good signing so far. Blake Tracy trying to keep the attack going, but doesn't. And it ends up back with Anderson, who's just got all the time in the world to pick his pass, finds McCormick, who plays it back to Reed, who's just dropped into that little pocket between the two centre-backs, exactly where I want him to be, playing as that like pivot point in front of the back two, as a deep-lying playmaker. Solomon now on the left, playing it across to McCormick. McCormick shoots from range and it goes just over. And why is the terracing looks like it's forest green colours? I know they're wearing their shirts back there, but that looked like it was forest green coloured steps. It might just be a weird yellow that my colourblind eyes can't work with properly. Reed playing it out to Blake Tracy. Schmodix back to Blake Tracy again, who cuts it back to Schmodix again, who shoots from range, and Solomon trying to rob it off him, I think has actually diverted it wide of goal. I think it was probably going into that far corner before Solomon decided he really does want to be Kev's big buddy. We're going to take off Clark Harris, bring on Hector Ingram. I threatened it might happen. It has happened. We're also going to... who are we looking at? McCormick, I would quite like to rest because he's still not fully fit, but Sammy Schmodix looks even more tired, so we'll bring Broom on for him. And McCormick slotted in nicely, but I am looking forward to being able to put Jack Taylor back into that midfield because Jack Taylor theoretically should be the best player at the club, but McCormick has looked very good. Like I say, he's looking like he's going to prove to be a very good signing for us long term, and he was very cheap as well, available on a free, next to nothing in the way of salary. That's a good clearance from Anderson, but it has gone straight back to Forest Green, and we've got 15 minutes of this game left, and we need to be careful. Although we've dominated the game, we have only scored the one goal, and we need to not let them sneak back in if we've got serious promotion aspirations. Sykes has come very far forward there. It's sort of come beyond Reed in the midfield. It ends up back with Blake Tracy. Hector Ingram hits the post. Oh, we've had some chances today. We are constantly being denied, and actually, as it stands, we've fallen back out of the playoffs again. Oh, we just tucked back in, and everyone around us is doing pretty well as well. We are going to take off Turton. Deshaun Bernard can apparently play right back, so we'll give him a little bit of time there. But Turton's not having a very good game. Bernard can come on and play there, and fingers crossed, actually be any good at it. He looked good deputising for Anderson at centre-back. Let's see if he can play right-back as well. Reed playing it back to Sykes. Sykes out to Bernard. There's Ward. Ward back to Reed again. I like the fact we're just keeping hold of the ball nicely. We've been utterly dominant without ever being a major goal threat today, which emphasises the point that we need better attackers, I think. Blake Tracy to McCormick again, who will be rested for the next game if Jack Taylor's recovered from his little sniffle that he's got that means he can't play. Look at the state of these stats. If anything, I've never seen anything scream need a better striker louder than that just has. But importantly, we've held on. It's our second successive 1-0 win. And if that's how we have to do it, if we just have to grind out the 1-0s, it's not really the Kev way. But if that's what we've got to do, that's what we will do. And I'll happily go and grind out another one now against our local rivals, Cambridge, in the derby. Well, 10 days have passed. Fitness levels have returned for everybody. So Jack Taylor coming into the side is the box-to-box midfielder. Is the only change to the system that we were playing previously. Interesting. I'm just looking at the tactical familiarity. I wonder if this is one of the reasons we're struggling to score. The rest of the team, they've been used to playing in a 4-2-3-1 all season, so they're all quite familiar with their roles. But the three kind of most creative players, not so much. So I'm guessing I'm playing them slightly differently to how they've been used to playing. So it might take a little bit of time to get the best out of them. Taylor still struggling for match sharpness. That's because he had a 2-week holiday and then missed work with a cold. He's forgotten that he's a professional footballer. It is Peterborough against Cambridge, the second most important derby date on the calendar for Peterborough. The first, of course, being Northampton. This is where any young Peterborough fans watching will go, no, Cambridge is the biggest derby. It is for you young people. For us old people, Northampton is the biggest derby. Because as far as we're concerned, Cambridge is still a non-league club who are just having a little bit of a day out in the Football League and will go back whence they came any time now, I'm sure. Although in the meantime, they are up in League One, which is a ridiculous place for them to be, but they are down in the relegation zone, which is a little bit more what they're used to, I imagine. Although I'm smack talking them, and the first half has been terrible. It's 0-0. We've got 0.18 XG between us. Got to do a little bit better than that in the second half. I'm pointing the finger. I'm having a little bit of a whine at the boys because that's not been okay. It's the local derby. We should be giving it a little bit more oomph than this. Turton with the throw finds Ward. Ward crosses over, looking for presumably Clark Harris. His name didn't pop up above his head. It's back with our captain, Louis Reed. Schmodix plays it forward to Ward, and Ward actually getting a highlight-worthy shot away is a joy to behold. And we've got a nice pile of XG with it as well. So we are ahead on the moral victory with the XG. Anderson heads clear, but only as far as a Cambridge midfielder who looks like they're trying to get a little attack going, which is a little bit of a worry. Turton's not won the ball there when you would kind of hope he would, although he has come back and corrected his own error and done pretty well to force the ball forward. But once again, the clearance only as far as one of these silly orange shirts, and they are building again, and they're having quite a decent sustained spell of possession here, and they are in, and they've scored a goal. And we don't really look like equalising. This is relegation zone Cambridge against playoff zone Peterborough, and somehow we're losing. And not only are we losing, we're not playing very well at all. Right, tactics time. Let's get another striker on. Well, that does involve removing Schmodix, or does it? Maybe we could do a diamond. Can either of these boys play narrow? Ugh. There's not much we can do to this. I guess. I don't know. I want to get another striker on, but who do I sacrifice from these 5 to do it? Or do I sacrifice him? If I drop Ward back there, stick him up there, we're still a little bit lopsided. We've got Lyndon Gooch on the bench. I think we might have to take Schmodix off. Schmodix has been one of our better players, though. That's the problem. Although he is tiring, so maybe we will do that. We'll bring Gooch on. We're going to bring Hector Ingram on. He's going to be a advanced forward. He's going to be... What foot do you play on, Lyndon? Your right foot. You can just be a winger then. And we're going to go attack him. And it's something different, I guess. It's changing things up a bit. We're going to demand more. We're trying something a little bit different. This actually takes us all the way down to 9th place as it stands. Hector Ingram, though, with the cross, finds Clark Harris. It's down to Solomon, and he's in again. Viv Solomon Otterbourg. What a hero. I might take my posh shirt back into the club shop and ask if I can have Solomon put on the back and see what they say, because he's a hero. He scores when he wants. Hector Ingram doing very well to drift out wide, get the cross in. Clark Harris, decent flick onto Solomon, who tucks it away, and that is an equaliser on 66 minutes. And now it's back on, boys and girls, because we've got some momentum going now, and it's with Jack Taylor in midfield, playing it forward, finds Solomon, who's got options ahead of him now as we've changed this attacking shape around. But it goes all the way back to our goalkeeper, Ben Amos, playing it forward to Reed, who's got acres of space to pick his pass, but somehow just gives it to a defender, which doesn't make any sense at all. Ward playing it forward, looking for Hector Ingram, and it's poor. And Cambridge have got an attack going again here, and we need to be winning the ball back. And this nonsense has gone on long enough. They're a relegation threatened side. Why are we letting them have the football? They're out on this right hand side now. Can somebody get a tackle in? Fraser Blake Tracy needs to be aware that his spot in the team is under threat from a young player, and if that's how he's going to defend, I might make the change now. It's not a particularly attacking change to make, but it does send a message that you've got to actually try some defending, and he's not here. He's not actually at any point tried to get a tackle in, and it's all come down his side of the pitch. That's the guy he was marking. He's made no attempt to tackle him. Oh, it makes me cross. Right. I might make that change. Gaz Key's going to come on for Fraser Blake Tracy. Like I say, it's making no impact on whether or not we win this game, but I think Blake Tracy getting hauled off immediately after that, I think is fair. I don't understand. We're going to lose to Cambridge here. Very attacking. Just do anything. Do anything. I don't know. Be more direct. I don't know why I ever click these buttons. I don't do anything with them. Be more expressive. There you go. Be more expressive. Be a little bit wider. Make no difference. Those buttons are for nerds. We shouldn't need nerd buttons to beat Cambridge, for goodness sake. It's going to be a very up and down first half a season here at Peterborough as we try and... why am I outstretching my arms? I need to throw the water bottle because that was not acceptable. I don't know if we're going to get promoted this year. It's going to be an interesting one. Should we see how Kettering are getting on? Kettering are well clear at the top of the league. Of course they are. I mean, I want to see them do well, but I don't want to be playing in the same league as them next year. Graham Wesley's coming as their manager. Did they do anything in the way of transfers before the window ended? They sold Mark Hill, so the last player to come in is also the most recent player to leave. He's gone to Gillingham to form a midfield partnership with Lawrence Wooten. Are they both starting for them? Because that's amazing if they are. They're not. Hill has just come in over the top of Wooten by the looks of it. But yeah, it looks like Kettering are coming up. We've got to make sure we go up as well so that people don't say, Kev, you didn't need to move. We've got all the... I mean, we're definitely a bigger club. Just having an iffy start. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.